What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy BT, and today's video is sponsored by Foxlock. Alright, so in this video we have this really cool smart lock here that you can use to install anywhere you desire. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. Alright, so first up we have a little instruction booklet that tells you how to install it, all of the contents inside, and the app to download. We also have a secondary manual in a different language. We've got some templates here that'll help us get everything placed and installed. A little after sales card here if you need help. And then inside here we have the actual body here, the back side of it. And if we open this up here, we can see this is going to be taking two AA's for operation. We've got the front control panel. It's got a USB-C on the side, fingerprint sensor as well, numbers to punch in, and also you can scan a card. We've got the USB cable. We've got the locking latch piece, we'll call it, some screws, some more hardware, the cards to get checked in, and then we've got some two-sided tape for installation. Alright, so now as we move on to the install, we're going to want to find the spot and the position where we'd like to place our unit. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab this right here. Now, I took a little bit of time to try to understand exactly how this thing needs to be affixed. So if you see here, this says cabinet sideline. Now, if you were to install this here, as for the purpose of the installation, there is no way of the manufacturer knowing how much clearance is between the draw and the top of the table or wherever you're installing it. So what I have figured is we probably need to place this about right there to the edge of this line here. And then you have to figure out exactly where you want it installed. So let's say we're going to put it there so that it's on that side. So then we're going to line this up. Go ahead and get my tape ready. So let's say, we want the unit to be, so I'm looking in the draw. I can see here the edge of where that is. And I'm like, okay, that's a good spot for the unit to be. So then I'm going to drop this down to right about here. Now, as I'm holding it here in this spot, make sure that it's level. Make sure that it's good. All right, so once you've got your tape placed exactly where you need it to be, you can go ahead and you can take your unit and you can actually mock it up, kind of get it aligned as closely to the lines as possible. So we can see it's going to sit right about maybe like right up here. Then after that, you can go ahead and you can get your top piece. And what you want to do is mock up affixing it in a sense to the top and make sure that you have clearance between where this comes in and where this is. So we just want a little bit of space there. We do have a little bit of space between, so that should help with the install. So now that I know that I'm happy with that location, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this tape underneath here so that we can keep the front looking good. So I'm going to put a little tape down there. Might need two pieces, so make sure you put some tape over where it's going to cover the holes. So you put some tape down in the spot that you're going to drill. So as you can see here, we need to drill two holes. So I'm going to start with this one right here. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next hole. So for these two small holes here, it says to use a 5mm. I actually don't have a 5, so I'm using a 3/16 to drill those holes. And then for the big boy, it says to use an 18mm, but we don't have that either, so I'm going to be using a 3/4 for that as well. So now that I've got my mark made there for my big hole, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off here. We know exactly where we're going here for the big boy, so I'm going to go ahead and get that drilled out. Alright, so now that our holes have been drilled out, I'm going to go ahead and take this drawer here and empty out the dust. Alright, so as we're getting to install the front pad here, they give us 3 sets of screws. Now, this screw clearly is going to be way too short for this application. As you can see here, not enough length. This screw is actually going to be way too long when you look at that length. But this screw right here, this is going to be perfect because it allows us to cut off what we don't need So we're going to need basically this much of the screw. The rest we can break off. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this here. I know I need that much of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that. I'm just going to grab something here, with a pliers here. I'm going to hold on to this section, hold on to this section, and then I'm just going to gently bend it until it snaps. And now we have the right length screw for the installation. All right, so now that we know we have the right length screws, I'm going to go ahead, slide this in here. And then we're going to go ahead and take our screws and get them situated right here. And now that is exactly where we want it to be. All right, so next thing I'm going to do here. So we see this right here. This is going to be sitting on the back side of the unit. Now, based off of this, you can see where that aligns. So we want to make sure that this is facing to the right side over here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this and I'm going to affix this to the back side of the drawer and center it. This is going to allow us to get this perfectly centered before we screw it in. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this, and we're going to peel it back. Then we're going to go ahead and slide it over here, and this is where you want to just take your time. Take your time with this. And we want to get this affixed right so it's basically center, right where it needs to be. So with that in place, I feel confident now that I can peel this back, plug this in, and after we get that plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and tuck the harness in behind here, right where it needs to be, and then I can align this exactly on top of the tape, knowing that we have confidently put it in the right location. Now after that's done, we're going to go into our hardware pack here, and we're going to go ahead and grab these 4 long screws, and we're going to go ahead and get that situated. All right, so with my screws and a drill in hand, we're going to go ahead and just get this situated right here. All right, so now that we have everything situated here, the last thing we need to do is install this right here. So basically what you want to do is you want to get something, you want to get it in there so that you can see exactly how far in it's going to go. So if I take this card here and I hit it right about there, I know it's going in about that deep. So this is how far in it's going. And if I double check that again, I can see that's pretty close to the edge of where I want it to be. Just make that minor adjustment there. So when I slide that in, when it hits, I know that that's exactly where the edge is. So I know it goes in this deep. So basically, if this is the edge, I know this is going to need to sit maybe somewhere about right here. So now all I need to do is make marks of where it travels. And so I know it's traveling between these 2 spots here. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to put a mark here and a mark here. So I know it travels here. So then underneath, now I got my 2 spots. I know where the center point is, right there. And then I also know how deep it needs to be. So with those in place, I have enough now to go ahead and drill in this last component here. So we're going to go ahead and take this draw out. All right, so to finish off this piece here, so we know this is basically the center line. That's a good center spot. And we want to know how deep it is. So based off of what we figured out, it goes about this deep. So the strike is hitting in this section here, or the latch, I should say, is hitting in that section. So we know if we want it to be about center and center, it's going to be right about there. So now that we have that in place, we can see center there, and we can see if you put the card in, it is going to be in this region, nice and locked up. No issues there. So all we have to do, mark our spot, get the drill, and go ahead and secure the screws. All All right, now we have the installation complete. This should slide in nicely and lock as expected. All right, so in this instance, when closing it up, you can see the doors lock. There are no batteries inside, so there's no way to get in. So I'm going to show you how this USB works on the side here. So we're going to go ahead and get some power hooked into this. Now that we have power, we can take our card, scan it, and open the drawer. So this is how you operate it in the event that you're out of power. So now we can get our batteries here, get those situated in place. And now we are in business with our fully functional door lock system here. You can see there, when we do that, we lock it and that opens it. So we can do that. And now it is locked. Now it's open. So this is a pretty cool tool here that you can use to lock up any space that you would like to lock up, keep it secure, whatever it may be. It's a pretty cool addition to any drawer. This is a very universal application. Think of anything that you would like to lock up and you can lock it up with this setup right here. So this is a really cool way to keep things out of reach and secure that you would like to be locked up and safe and sound. So as you can see here, the lock is up, and what's cool is you can never forget to lock it. All right, so off to the manual. So I'm going to go ahead and scan the QR code here in the manual, and we'll take you to the process to get set up. All right, so here's the app here. We're going to go ahead and get this installed. Then after you get it installed, we'll open that up. We'll agree. So for here, you're going to need to create an account and password to get logged in. So here's the register button up here. Go ahead, set this up, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add the smart lock. All right, so when you're adding this, make sure that your device is flashing. It does go into standby mode, so we're going to go ahead and add that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and enter a new password. 6 digits there. All right, so you need to make it a little different. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confirm. We're just going to name this desk lock. All right, so here we are. We've got the desk lock ready to go, and now you can see here we can generate a temporary password. There's some management, there's a fingerprint, all that good stuff there, card management, password management. So you got a lot of features here. So we're going to go in here now. We're going to add a fingerprint.
Please press the fingerprint on the fingerprint lock.
So first thing it does is it's asking you to press on the fingerprint here.
Recording failed. Please record again.
All right, so now it's asking me to put my finger here, so I'm just going to push my finger on it here. Okay.
Please press the fingerprint on the fingerprint lock.
All right, so now we're going to push on.
Please record again.
Okay.
Please record
Just gotta
again.
move it around.
Please record again.
5
Please
times.
record again. Recording failed. Please record again. Please
try
press
this
the
again.
fingerprint. Please record again. Please record again. Please record again. Please record. Recording failed. Please press the fingerprint on the fingerprint. Please record again. Please record again. Please record again. Please record again. Entry successful.
All right, so we've got that done. Just kind of keep your finger pressing in the same spot, and you should be good there. All right, so back to this now. I think we're done there. So you can see in the app here all these different things that we can do here. We've got card management. Yeah, lots of things. Generate a temporary password, password management, history record. You can see all of the history in here. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So if I come here, there we go. And now I'm able to unlock. So you see, this is a pretty cool, pretty neat setup right here. Again, if you lose power, you've got the USB on the side. You just add some power to it, and then you can get back inside. But to have this with a fingerprint, that's a game changer right there. Alright, so one thing to note here, once you get this thing installed and added to the app, you will need to re-add your card. So just go into card management.
Please keep the card close to the lock to complete the registration. Registration success.
Alright, so now we've successfully added that card. We do have a second card. So we're going to go ahead and get that second card out and get that one registered as well.
Please keep the card close to the lock to complete the registration. Registration success.
Alright, so now you can see here we've got C1 and C2 representing card 1 and card 2. So now my cards are working, everything's good, and as that locks, fingerprint's working. That's working good. And then the last thing is my code. And there you have it. You got 3 different ways to get into this lock setup here. Pretty cool. It's your boy BT. Thank you for checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Oh.